Hey everyone, I have one video out of 11 that we're going to do. I might get one done tonight. We'll see. This is Matt Fraser. These are private readings that I have obtained. I'd like to look at all 11 of them in a row because I think it's really important to have consistency through, to watch over time. How should I say? One whole thing because you see so much more when you see it in the context of all the other videos. So I'd like to go through these. I'm going to do one and then another and then another. So there'll be 11 separate videos. This video that you're we're going to watch together is 6 minutes, 48 seconds, recorded recently. I have blurred the sitter. You'll still be able to hear her voice. Her name is Sharon, and I don't think you'll be able to identify her where she is or anything like that. So I've blurred her side, and this is the first of the readings of the 11 in the series that I have for this one day. Okay, so this is Psychic Matt Fraser. I have already watched this live when it was happening, and he is cold reading. One of the things that you'll notice as you go through all of these videos, which I really hope you will do, is that almost all of the readings are multiples. They're all women, but almost every single one of them is a multiple reading. And the reason for that is because when you're reading one person and you're a cold reader, then you're less likely to get play the odds. So if you have 2 or 3 or 4 people that are on screen, then when he calls out something, he says, is this one thing appropriate to you? Does this make sense to you? Do you know a Larry? Do you know a Joe? Does Rose mean anything to you? For the one person on the screen, it might be a miss. But if you have 2 people or 3 people or 4 people, then it's more likely it will hit one of those. So this is a cold reading tactic that Matt Fraser uses in person and on gallery reading. So as I said, this is going to be the first one, and it is just a single woman. The other thing I want to point out is that the way these are done, now that I've been watching this for a while, is that he has a gallery reading of, I don't know how many women are there. And then what they do is, I think his team is pulling up one at a time, pulling up people and asking them if they want to be a participant. First, you have to raise your hand on Zoom to say that you want the reading. You're open to a reading. You're not just there to watch. And then his team, I believe, will go and they'll pick out people that they want to give readings to, and a notice will pop up and it'll say, do you want to be a participant or do you just want to continue observing? And if they say they want to be a participant, then they're one of the next people who's pulled up. Within 1 or 2 people, that will be your reading. So you have some heads up that you're going to get read. Then he pulls on your audio and your video. It's all live and it's just you and that person. He during the 90 minutes of these gallery readings, he and his team can watch the participants all the time. There is no chat feature, and there is no way for the attendees to see how many people are there. Unless, of course, his screen freezes, which he does every once in a while. And when he tries to come back and be live again, for a second, there's a screen that will show all of the different people on the screen, but it's only showing one of the screens. You won't see all of the gallery screens. Quite interesting to be able to look at that. So we're going to check this out. I really am looking forward to your comments. Please, please, please leave them here. You're going to see things that I don't, and I'll interrupt every so often.
That being said, we're going to laugh, we're going to cry, we're going to shit our pants tonight. It's going to be great. Just don't do it, because if you do it, I'm going to know that you did it. So that being said, I want to get started right away because there's a couple souls that are coming through right now, and I see Sharon that's here. There's a couple souls that are here with us, so we're going to pull her up right away. I get so excited, you guys. You know, as excited as you are to hear from your loved ones, I'm excited to hear the messages and to deliver what they're telling me. Sharon, where are you right now?
Can you see
Where
me?
are you?
I'm right here. Can you see me?
Oh, I can see you. I can see you. What state are you in?
Oh, I'm from Illinois.
Oh, perfect. I'm happy that you're here. Were you just at my show in Waukegan?
No, my niece was.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, I'm glad that you're here.
Thank
Listen,
you.
the moment that I'm connecting, there's a couple different souls that's stepping forward. Now, first of all, did your dad depart here in this world?
Yes.
Know that he's stepping forward, and then right away with him, I also keep hearing of a child that passed as well. So when I'm connecting, this was a baby that I keep seeing, Sharon, that unfortunately didn't make it here in this world. So when I connect with babies, this would be miscarriage, stillborn birth, soul that didn't make it, that would be there within your dad's arms. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Please know that that soul is with him, because the moment I'm connecting, he kept saying to me, I have the baby here, I have the baby here. And the moment I'm connecting with your dad, he first of all says to me, Matt, he says, I want to let my daughter know that I am her silent protector on the other side. When I'm speaking to your dad, he says, she was not expecting me to come through today. She wasn't expecting me to come through, speak or connect. Don't say another word, I'm going to tell you that's what you pay me for. He says that I had to be the first one. Because your dad just said to me, there were things that were left unsaid. And your dad said to me that I feel as though I let you down here in this world. And your dad is stepping forward because, first of all, he says to me this. He says, Matt, he goes, I've been trying to come through since the time of my passing, because your dad talks about there being the separation between you and him, and he talks about not getting to heal things before he died. Your dad talks about all of a sudden getting sick very quickly, leaving this world very quickly, and not getting to repair things with you before he died. Do you understand that?
I do.
That's why he's here. You know, when I'm speaking to your dad,
So we see a lot of this, and this is why I like to look at the whole day or the whole session. And this is one of the ones where Matt is bringing up an infant child. And if they don't react immediately, then he says it's a miscarriage or a stillborn baby or something like that. That gives them away, not having to say the sex of the gender of the child, or a name for the child or anything of the sort. He just says there was an infant, and like I said, if they hit on it and they say, "Oh my gosh, that's Elizabeth," well then he'd just go with Elizabeth. And if it doesn't hit with this woman, it'll hit with it. He'll be able to say, "Well, it might have been. I think it was your mom, or your grandmother, or your aunt, or your sister, or somebody's baby, or some miscarriages happen and you don't even know you're pregnant." So he can, I mean, it goes anywhere. It's like a fail safe kind of thing. So in this group of 11 readings I'm going to be showing you over time, he uses this trope at least twice. So her father, now you can't see her. I can see her whenever I was watching this live, and I have the live video unedited. And she is a woman in her 60s or something, like myself, maybe a little older. I can't quite remember, but I know she wasn't 20 or 30. So when he says your father has died, well, he doesn't say that. Your father has passed over. It's a pretty good bet that her father has, just based on her age. If it had not hit, then he could say, I'm getting older. Oh, well, I'm getting an older man. And see if she says, oh, that must be my father-in-law or my uncle or my grandfather, So it's an easy out for Matt. And so then he goes into the relationship she has with her husband. Now her husband or father. So this is also very common, where they say there's some kind of distance between you guys. And it could mean distance in, we didn't communicate really well together, or physical distance. We didn't live near each other. And it could be in the past, or it could be in the present. Well, he's dead, so I guess not the present, but it could have been recently before he died, or it could be a long time ago. Matt has many different options to go. So you just kind of think of it as, you think of Matt's cold reading as, you start off with an adventure. Here's the adventure. We have a father who has died. Okay, so depending on what the person says, you can go this way or you can go this way, or you can keep going. And depending on which answer they give, then you say, okay, well, now I'm at this page. Let's turn to page, we had a distant relationship. Okay, well, we'll go this way or we'll go this way. And whatever choice it is, she keeps steering it. So based on her excitement level, her agreeing, is she nodding her head a lot? Is her eyes just like, wow, oh my gosh? Or does she look confused because she doesn't quite understand? He just is taking those cues and going with it. Remember, he can see her the whole time. Okay, so let's go on. We're 2 minutes already done. So a few more minutes.
You have to know that he's got this huge apology for you because your dad keeps saying to me in spirit, Matt, you have to let her know I didn't know that I was going to die at this moment. I didn't know I was going to die at this moment. And I should have repaired things sooner. I thought I had time. That's what he wants you to know. But what's also really tough is that his illness that he was feeling was also starting to change him when he was here. Your dad said to me, Matt, he goes, my illness that I was dealing with not only just affected my body, it started to affect my mind at the end. He says, and because of that, he says, I never got to make good with my daughter. I never got to go and repair things. I never got to get back in contact with her. And your dad is saying, I'm sorry for the way you found out that I died. Your dad is here right now because he shows me you holding on to all this pain, all of this hurt, all of these past memories and saying, but I didn't get to do this. And your dad shows me that before his passing, you had hoped that the two of you would have been able to reconcile, to be able to speak, to be able to connect. And then I see your dad passing. And I see you holding on to all this hurt. Like, I thought I was going to do this. I thought I had time. I just feel like I was going to call him. And then this happened. Your dad needs to let you know that he always remembers you as being the best daughter that he could have ever asked for. He says, but I know that I did you wrong. That's what he keeps telling me. And I got to be honest with you, your dad had a lot of pride, and he was somebody who did not like to admit his mistakes here in this world. And he just said to me, Matt, he says, I didn't want to admit that I was wrong. I didn't want to admit about all of these things to my daughter. So he keeps talking about you feeling like you came second in a relationship. That's what he's telling me. So when I see that, and your dad shows me about you feeling as though that you take the back seat to everybody else, your dad said to me, I want you to know that I know that I made you feel this way. And I'm truly sorry. But I want you to know and to go back to the times when we were close, the times when we were close with one another. Those are the memories that I cherish. And your dad wants to hope and pray that you can get back there too. So listen, this isn't today. It's on your own time. But when you feel right, your dad said, I just hope and pray that I receive her blessing and her forgiveness because I don't want to leave her with pain. And I want to let her know that she truly, truly, truly is special to me. And I love her so much. Do you understand that?
I do. It means a lot. Thank you.
I also keep hearing happy birthday. So whose birthday?
Okay, it's just really painful to watch people rewriting other people's memories. Now, I can see this Sharon person leaving saying, I felt better. I felt like, my dad and I didn't have the greatest relationship. And now I know that my dad loves me and he was watching over me. I mean, I get it. Of course, who doesn't want to hear that kind of thing? But Matt just described a good chunk of the male population of the world to her. And if it occurs to her later that this was a bunch of nonsense, that it was just very generalized and that it kind of fit, but didn't quite fit some places, then the realization that somebody was just making up stuff, talking to her about her dad it's going to be really cruel. Now, as I said, she's blurred, so you can't quite see all of her reactions, but Matt is very good at this. He's a very good cold reader. So he's just going on autopilot with the glib responses about, how she's the daughter that the father loved and he wishes he had a better relationship with her. And I guess that's true with almost everybody. It's hard to say I had the most amazing relationship with the person that has now died, because there's always regrets of what you wish you had been able to say, or you wish they had told you more. So now it was a bold move for him to say your dad was upset about the way you found out he had died, which means nothing. I mean, whatever that is. He does it a lot. He uses that line a lot. But it doesn't really make sense. I mean, it does make sense, but it's a bold move that Matt is assuming that she wasn't at the bedside when he died. So somewhere in the expressions and the way he was leading her on, she probably was revealing that there really was distance between them and that, they weren't super close. Because if she had been at the bedside of her father as he died, especially caring for him at the end, then that would have been one of those things that it wouldn't have fit. And if it doesn't fit, she's going to make it fit. So a lot of Matt will say, does that make sense to you? Kind of statements. And she's going to agree, even if it doesn't quite make sense. So because when you're a sitter and you're a motivated sitter like these people are who are paying money to come to these events, it's $27, by the way. And when you're one of these people who's paid to come to the event and you really badly want to get readings, and you'll hear it from some of the other people who are sitters here about how they've spent the entire week concentrating on who it is they want to see, then even if it isn't quite right, you're going to accept it and say, okay, I guess Dad's confused, Matt's confused a little bit there, but everything else is right. They're going to make excuses for the psychic. So let's go over to the last part of this. I think we have just 2 minutes more.
Birthday was it? Or coming up? Your dad I keep hearing him singing the song, Happy Birthday, Happy Birthday.
My brother passed away about 4 weeks ago, and his birthday was October 12th.
That would be why. So your brother just passed away, and you would have been celebrating his birthday.
Yes.
That's the reason why. Your dad just said that to me to validate that your brother is here. That's crazy.
I'm laughing, but I'm not laughing. I'm not making fun of these people. I'm just the absurdity of it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm not taking a lot of notes. So even though it's only been a few minutes, it's very hard for me to come back and remember this. So the unnamed father, who's not named, is talking about happy birthday. And happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. And that means, according to Matt, that her brother is here. Right? Because that doesn't mean that her brother is here. But that's how he gets to it, the long way, right? So he says, your father's here, and he's saying, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. And that is another trope of cold reading psychic mediums, because your odds are there's only 12 months. So happy birthday. Let's say you have a month before and a month after. So there's your 2 months. So you got two hits out of the 12. And then it could be you or your spouse or your child or the dead family member or a sibling or whatever. There's a lot of birthdays within the 12 months. So when they throw out the happy birthday thing, it's a hit. I mean, unless of course these people don't celebrate birthdays, and then it wouldn't be a hit. But then if they don't celebrate birthdays, why would you be at a psychic mediumship reading? I doubt that you would be here if you're religiously opposed to celebrating birthdays. I doubt we have many Amish people or Jehovah's Witnesses here on these events, or maybe there's other cultures that I'm not aware of. So who she really wanted to hear from, obviously, is her brother. 4 weeks ago he died. That's pretty bad, and pretty fresh. Your grief is very fresh. And that's probably the person she really wanted to hear from. Now, I think Matt and others will say you need to have the person be gone like a year before they actually come through correctly. And I think that's because they are just fiddling with it. They don't want to have the vagueness. When somebody specifically wants to hear from someone, then psychic doesn't really necessarily want to go to that specific person. Do you see what I'm saying? Because when you know exactly who you want to hear from, then the psychic is going to feel pressured to do things like names and specific events. But if he could make it up to whoever he wants it to be, like a father figure, a mother figure, then, or an infant child, then he has a little more room to stretch out in. I'm not sure I'm explaining this really well, but if I said, well, like in this case, if Sharon says, I want to hear from my brother who died 4 weeks ago, then Matt might feel pressured to talk about his death and how he died. Was she there? Was that a long illness? Was it a sudden death? Did he do it to himself? Was it an accident? Was it an illness? And it's not as easy for Matt to come up with that because obviously he's not really talking to the dead. The other thing I was thinking of is that this woman has at least one sibling, a male. We know that by now. There's a brother. But the father is saying that you were the best daughter and, on and on. We don't know if there were more daughters. And all we know is that there's at least Sharon. So maybe in Sharon's mind, she's okay with hearing that she was the best daughter. But maybe there are other daughters who were right there with the father, taking care of him, taking care of his, his health needs, cleaning his house, paying his bill, holding his hand. They may have been the persons who had a very close relationship with the father. And here's the dad just saying, you, the one who I was estranged from, or I had a complicated relationship with, you are the one that I have the strong relationship to. And that's just kind of cruel. There could be other people off screen. And in many cases, as I said, as we go through these readings, you'll see that there are other people who are off screen. And they pop in because you don't know that they're there until they just kind of walk in on screen. And it would be really cruel to have her sister off screen and hearing this about Sharon being the favorite child. I mean, that would be kind of the ultimate of cruelty, but she seems okay with it. So let's go a little bit further here. We're almost done with this birthday stuff. Her brother's there, and we know her brother's the father is telling Sharon, that your brother is here because the father said happy birthday. Makes zero sense to me, but okay, it's going to make sense to Sharon because she badly wants this read.
You're going to know that souls they communicate differently on the other side. They don't come through and say, oh, hi, Matt, tell Sharon I'm her dad, I'm okay. It's quick bits of information. Like I kept hearing, I'm the father. He showed me the baby within his arms. And then all of a sudden he was singing happy birthday, saying I have to let her know about the birthday. So that your brother passed away and didn't make it to his birthday. It's okay because your dad is there in spirit, letting you know that his soul is right there. And your dad is taking care of everything on the other side. Letting you know that you don't have to worry. You don't have to stress. His soul is there. And he is watching over you in spirit.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. Well, listen, is this your first time coming online?
Yeah, it is.
I am so happy because your dad was saying to me, Matt, she wasn't going to do this. She wasn't going to do this. She was nervous. She was scared. And he's actually telling me that you were afraid to hear from him. Like you were afraid of him coming through or nervous about him coming through.
He was the last one I expected.
Your dad tells me. But this was a message that he had to heal because he shows me the grief that you've been holding on to. He says, and Matt, he says, I just want to let her know that I'm there because she doesn't sense me. She doesn't feel me. And I'm hoping that tonight changes it.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm going to leave you with that.
Okay, thanks.
And this is what the souls will do, right? The souls will like to give us little validations to show us that not only are they there, but also our loved ones in spirit that we miss so much are there as well. Now, sometimes souls that recently pass away might take some time to come through. But, for example, because her brother just passed 4 weeks ago. But the souls on the other side many times will come through and validate that they've met that person in spirit.
Right. So, as I said, it's they don't want to really talk about somebody who's just recently died and somebody that you really badly want to hear from. So I don't understand what might have been accurate on this at all. She's gonna leave this now. Okay, when this is over and she tells her best friend or her partner, I went to a psychic today and or tonight, and my father came through and my brother came through, and um my dad was talking about my brother's birthday, that it was his birthday and that he didn't get to see his own birthday. He died, my brother died before his birthday. And in fact, I bet it's even more like this. She calls her friend and says, "My dad just came through on a psychic reading I had, and Jonathan, he came through too. It was amazing." So my dad knew it was Jonathan's birthday and that he died right before his birthday, and he didn't get to celebrate his birthday in October. It was amazing. And he knew, and dad is just really broken up about how he wished we had a closer relationship, and we didn't have a very close relationship. And he's watching over me all the time. Okay. Do you see the difference? Now you just watched this, I just watched this, and it wasn't quite right. It wasn't quite that, but that is what she's going to remember. She's going to remember that Matt said her brother was there, and she might even say it to her friend or her partner, Jonathan, or whatever name her brother is. She'll say he knew Jonathan was there. So the friend who's listening to this is going to say, "Oh my gosh, Matt Fraser is the real deal. He not only went right to Jonathan, who just recently died, he knew his birthday in October and that he didn't make it to his birthday. And Sharon's dad, oh my gosh, she came through and he was telling her all kinds of stuff about their relationship. So it's like a game of telephone a little bit. It keeps getting added to as we go along. And so over time, it becomes a very specific reading. But when you have the audio and video, and if you go back and look at it, then you'll find that it wasn't exactly what you thought, right? If you really want to take a critical look at this, which I'm sure she would never do. So Matt asked her if her father was dead, and then went in and decided that they didn't have the closest relationship. And that's pretty much where he went. He just said happy birthday. And Sharon is the one who said October was my brother's birthday. October 12th, I think she said. And this is recorded on October 21st. So Sharon said my brother died 4 weeks ago, which would have been at the end of September, right? Yeah, the end of September. So he wouldn't have made it to his birthday. And Matt never said the brother's name, never said how he died or anything of that sort. So it really isn't much of a reading that is giving a lot of information. And there's an infant child. I like how Matt says, "Oh, this is how it comes through. I see images of your dad holding an infant, and I see images of this, and I just get a quick thing of happy birthday." No, I've watched enough Matt Fraser to know that is a convenient excuse. But other times he goes into great detail and he has these long stories, and they're telling me this and they're telling me that. But whenever he needs to, he just says, "Oh, I'm just getting snippets." So again, nothing specific. We're missing names. We're missing just so much. It's a very vague, cold reading. And Sharon gave him the little bits that did look like they might be his. That was all Sharon's work, but she will not remember it that way. So if you guys have any other comments, please leave them below. I really would appreciate that. But in my book, this is just standard cold reading done by Matt Fraser. Nothing special about it at all. So take care, everyone. Look out for the other videos I'm doing. This is the first of many that I'm doing in this series. And if you watch them one after another, then it'll make a little more sense because you'll be able to see how it changes as he goes.